Hey y'all, it's Chelsea T and I am back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a get to know me tag. I remember back in the day, I used to binge watch these videos and I was so nosy, so I loved kind of getting some insight on a person's life and all of that. So I thought, why not? You know, my channel is still in the beginning stages and why not do a little bit of a tag? So I'm super excited about my Lock, Shock, and Barrel t-shirt. It finally came in the mail from a Disney personal shopper that I use for all my goodies. And of course, I had to get the matching pillow. And I'm super excited about it. It's super soft. And love the design on it. So love the merchandise that's in Disney right now for Nightmare Before Christmas. So anyway, before I get off too far on a tangent on that, first question is, what time do I go to bed? Well, first off, I work a very unconventional job and my hours are crazy as well. So I go in at 5 o'clock in the morning and I get off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I try to get in the bed between 7 and 9. I'm trying to get closer to that 7 o'clock range. Just trial and error, trying to figure out, okay, if I get X amount of time of sleep, this is when, and all of that. So 7 o'clock is the goal. Right now I'm getting in bed probably like 8:30, 9 o'clock. It sucks, especially when there's new music coming out, because it typically releases that Thursday night at 11 my time. So, and I say that for this next question. Do I have a celebrity crush or am I a stan of someone? And yes, I am. I am a huge Nicki Minaj fan. Like, I'm a stan of that ladies. Do not try to tell me anything about Nicki Minaj. Do not try to talk crazy about her around me. Like, I will get up and I will have to correct you. And that's just that on that. She can do no wrong in my eyes. I love everything that she's doing. Just the heights that she's taking female rap, and outside of that element, like, that woman is a true rags to riches story. Like, literally like an immigrant, her childhood, how much abuse and neglect and all that she had to experience, and what she saw her mother go through, and just everything about her. I'm super excited about her album coming out, Pink Friday 2, in November of this year. She's going on tour. Like, I was supposed to see her when she was going to tour for the Queen album back in 2018. Didn't happen. I was devastated. I had bought my tickets and everything. So this year, as soon as I know those ticket prices, I've already got a pot of money just dedicated to whatever she's got going on, whatever she's doing. Like I said, my family will tell you, do not, just don't, because I will argue with the brick wall over that woman, and that's just it at the end of the day. So super excited about what she has coming and everything that she's doing so far, and I cannot wait for the tour next year. It's gonna be a whole movie. I'm gonna try to see multiple shows and all of that, and then if she's touring in an area for my birthday next year in March, it's over with. Like, that's it. So love her. So crazy memory in school. Believe it or not, I actually had a stalker in high school. Yeah. It was my senior year, and it was this girl's freshman year. So from August of 2007 to May of 2008, I had to endure this girl's bullshit ass antics. Okay, I still remember the first interaction that I ever had with this girl. Didn't know this girl from Jane until then. So I'm minding my business, first day of school, and of course it's exciting. It's my senior year. Like, I'm about to be done with this. Thank you God. And all of a sudden, I hear a rolling backpack. And I'm like, I didn't know people still use rolling backpacks. But again, no judgment. Do you? And she just whizzes by me and says, "Hey, Chelsea," really fast, just sprints off with this backpack. And I was just like, who in the hell is that? And no one in my friend circle at the time knew who it was and all of that. So from that initial interaction to my very last day of school, I mean, this girl made it a living hell, like some type of way. She figured out my class schedule. She figured out where I was, like my route to in between classes, which lunch period that I was in. I mean, you think of it, this girl tried it, or she attempted to try it. And truly, like, in the shadows, like if I could find a meme, like classic in the shadows, peeping Tom type, I'm like, oh my God. And of course, trying to go to the administration, no one taking it seriously. They think that it's a joke, or they think, oh, well, she's a freshman, she's just trying to make friends. No, like this was an episode of I am a stalker. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the simple fact that it was my senior year and I was concerned about, okay, if I get into some trouble, you know, is this going to impact me, what I'm trying to do and all of that. If she would have caught me a little bit earlier in my high school career, like we would have had to lay hands. Like it really would have gone that route, because this girl tried it. And if she couldn't get to me, she would go to like my friend group and try to cause problems with them. So like I said, I'm not gonna say any names and whatever, but if she happened to stumble across this girl, I hope you got some help, or I hope you figured out something of what was going on with you back then, because that was insane. So that was definitely the craziest memory that I have in school, period. The first thing that I noticed about people, it would probably be their teeth, I would say. Yeah, it will probably be their teeth. And that isn't to say that they have to be the whitest or the straightest and all of that. But, you know, just try to keep them brushed and, you know, do what you can. I'm not even trying to be funny, because I know going to the dentist is a luxury in some cases. So I'm not trying to be funny at all, but oral health is just so important for overall health. So that's definitely the first thing that I noticed. My first job. The summer before I went to undergrad, I worked at a Burger King in my town. Super overwhelmed, super like, oh my God, what if I get people's orders wrong and all of that. But I was a cashier for that summer. The manager at the time knew my situation, and she would constantly put me on the schedule. So I had a little bit of money when I went into school. So shout out to you. I think her name was Melissa. Definitely appreciate you for what you did. Definitely was looking out for me. So if I could change a bad habit, what would that be? Definitely opening up a water bottle and like leaving it in my room or leaving it on my coffee table and not finishing the water, for sure. And I'm crazy like that. It has to be like, I love ice cold water. So a solution to that is, I have so many tumblers around me, in my cabinets, still in boxes and all of that. So I try to like keep that stocked and ready with ice filled to the brim, and just crack open a water bottle, put it in there, pour it in there, finish it. There we go. So I am trying to break that habit, because that is very wasteful, a wasteful habit to have. So I'm trying to do better with that. My coffee orders. So trying to look at my budget, trying to save where I can, because of course I have plans, okay? So if I can go to a Starbucks or one of our little coffee shops, I always get a frap of some kind. Here lately I've been obsessed with white mochas, caramel fraps, of course. So it really, I'm typically an ice girl or a blended coffee lover. But if I'm at home, I'll just do the cold brew, and gotta be the oat milk. Pouring a little bit of that in there too, with some skinny syrups, and so that's for sure. My current phone. So I'm filming on my phone right now. This is a iPhone 11 Pro Max. And I used to be one of those girlies that every year I had to upgrade. Every year I had to have the latest, the greatest, the best version of iPhone. And a few years ago, I just decided, like, Chelsea, it is okay. Like, you do not have to keep up with anything. This phone is working just fine. And until something happens to it, I'm going to continue rocking with it. Now, if they ever come out with a blush pink iPhone, I mean, hands down, I'm gonna get it, like, no questions asked. But until I see something or a feature that my phone doesn't have, I'm just gonna rock with my little 11, and it's gonna be what it is. And I've had it for a few years in pristine condition. It's always has a case on it and a screen protector, and it just does the job. So I'm in no rush to upgrade it or anything like that. So, a movie that you were disappointed in. A Quiet Place 2. Pissed is not even the word. Like, that movie was supposed to come out, I think it was probably kind of right at the height of COVID, I want to say. And it was delayed because, of course, everything was shut down, and I had to wait an entire year for it. And I'm like, okay, you know, they have some time to really look at the movie, review it, see if there needs to add something, take away some stuff. So I'm like, they have all this time in my mind to get it to absolute perfection. So I was super excited about it because A Quiet Place is a movie that I can watch every day. Like, I love the storyline, I love the plot on it, the characters really suited their roles, and it's just a good movie. So to give insight of how that even came about, as far as those creatures and figuring out that they are hypersensitive to sound and noise and all of that, like, I was super excited about it. So it finally came out. One of the first people in the theater, running through there trying to, like, oh, I gotta see this movie, I've been waiting years to see this. And the first initial scene is like, wow, this is gonna be really good. Get to the middle of it, I'm like, you're losing me. In the end, it was just so anticlimactic, and they were wrong for that. And then, like, the black man was the leader in his community. Like, they figured out that they could live on this island. They didn't have to worry about any creatures. I mean, they were thriving despite the current situation. The main characters coming in, bring a creature onto that island, and then, of course, mayhem and chaos starts. And the black man is like, okay, this is what we gotta do. Get to this radio station with the woo, all this. And in my mind, I'm like, this man is going to die. Like, they're setting the stage where this man is going to die. And sure enough, for certain, he dies. And I'm like, this man has been living in this community all this time with his family and all of this, and then boom, in a day or so he ends up dying. Like, it pissed me off. But anyway, I can still watch it, but it was just a real letdown for me. Bird Box is another one that I enjoy watching. The second one is on Netflix as well. The second one is so much better than the first one, in my opinion. The second one was really good, but I was kind of disappointed. I was disappointed in Bird Box as well, just because I wanted to know, like, what was it? What were those creatures? I'm just like, I have to know what's going on. I just have to know the details on stuff. I'm just that type of person. So anyway, Favorite drink? Well, I love Dr. Pepper Zero for sure. Even with that, I try to limit like how many that I'm drinking a week and all of that. But Water Talk got me. Now, I've always been a fan of drink mixes and all of that, little packets, because they're just convenient. But Water Talk really took it to a whole nother level. I have a whole cart of those syrups and flavorings, so many different packets and all of that. But my favorite combination is the blue raspberry. My favorite combination is blue raspberry Starburst and a few pumps of the cotton candy skinny mix, skinny syrup or whatever it's called, and that it tastes so good. Like, that is my favorite combination. So, and I mean, not on occasion, I drink water every day, but just preference, I mean, nothing beats like a cold glass of water at all. So I'll typically go for that as well. So, favorite movie, I'm gonna have to go with Twister. I absolutely love that movie. It's an oldie but goodie. I can quote that movie from beginning to end. I can watch it every day and not get tired of it. I love it. I don't even know why I'm obsessed with that movie, but I actually have a Twister pen that I'll try to get a picture of, and it's like one of my favorite pens. I got it off Etsy. It's so ridiculous, but that's how much I love that movie. So Twister for sure. Have you ever been in love? Ooh, I don't know. Like, now that I'm older and like I've done some self-development, definitely on my healing journey and all of that, I don't know. Like, I guess viewing love as an action word, I have definitely loved people, but not from the healthiest version of myself, I should say. And I try to be very honest with myself to say, okay, Chelsea, like, you had poor boundaries, or you were codependent, or that was kind of enmeshment, so I just try to keep it real with myself nowadays. So I guess depending on how I view that, yeah, I have, but I'm definitely not from my current self. I haven't displayed love or given love since I'm on my healing journey and kind of reached a new place with my mentality and how I interact with others and my own boundaries and all of that. So no. Dream job as a kid, I definitely wanted to be a dentist. I wanted to either be a dentist, I wanted to be a culinary chef, or I wanted to be on TV. I don't know what exactly I wanted to do on TV, but those three just kind of stood out to me as a kid. My longest relationship, about 4, 5, 6 years or so. I feel comfortable to say about 5 years. Definitely. Well, if you want to view it as a waste of time or just life lessons that I needed to know and to learn and to accept, I guess, to frame it in a positive, but definitely like 5 to 6 years for sure. Do I believe in giving second chances? That is situational. Definitely situational. If it's a little misunderstanding and we have a conversation and we can move forward, cool. But if it's a situation where I'm having to suppress myself, my feelings, or have to like give in or let go of a boundary that I have, no. Like, I'm not jeopardizing my integrity or what I stand for or my personal value or my moral compass just to continue on having some type of dealings or connection with a person, regardless of if that's romantic, friendship, family. I'm just not doing it. So, best place that I have traveled, probably say Hawaii. I got to go to Hawaii when I was 15. It was a band trip. I don't think they've ever been back to Hawaii since, but I got to go to Hawaii when I was 15. My sister was a senior. She was 18. I was a freshman. And being 15 and living a very sheltered life, like I hadn't ever been away from my mom for that amount of time. I had never been just away for that amount of time. So I was homesick as soon as we pulled off from the school, and I really didn't get to enjoy it to the fullest. So that is something that I'm in the works of saving, and please keep the residents of Hawaii in your prayers, thoughts and prayers. Like I saw today, I think that death toll from the fires is like the upwards of like 110, 115-ish. And, you know, I just cannot imagine. So definitely praying for those folks out there. It's just horrible, for sure. So, of course, when everything kind of gets back to normal, and I hate to say that after a tragedy, but there's some sense of calm, I guess, I would love to visit and just really soak all that in. Like so much history is out there. It's gorgeous. And just to be able to appreciate the beauty, the history, the culture, all of that. Hawaii is beautiful. So definitely Hawaii. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Probably meatloaf. I'm a meatloaf girl. My mom always makes me a meatloaf on my birthday. That's my request every year. And macaroni and cheese, maybe some mashed potatoes, or greens and cornbread. That I can eat that. That's I know that I just did a whole spread, but one food, it would be meatloaf. Do I enjoy being alone? Absolutely. Now that I have a sense of peace when I walk into my house, I know what to expect. I look around, it's all me. I love that. And jokingly, my friends think that I'm so silly, but I said if I were ever to get married, I would want my husband to have his own house, or we have a joint. He has his house, I have my house, and we kind of have a joint whatever somewhere, and we just have this routine where we come together, enjoy each other, all of that, and we just go our separate ways, because I love my space. Love my space. Was anyone or is anyone in your family a character? Oh, for sure. My family's insane. One family member in particular, my Uncle Roy, he passed in 2015 from cancer. He was the life of the party. At every get together, you knew he was gonna say something out of pocket. You knew that he was gonna say something that would leave you like, what the hell? But you just knew that was him. He wasn't gonna put on this fake persona. What you saw was what you got, and he kept it so real. And I remember at his funeral, like I got up and I said a poem and all of that, and then towards the end, I literally had a moment where I'm like, regardless of what you think about him, like he was spiritual. He knew, you know, where he was going. Afterwards, he was at peace with himself, his lifestyle, and all of that. And you can't tell me nothing bad about him. Like, you're not going to sit up there and try to say, well, he did this or he did that. Okay, he told you that he did it, and that was that on that. Like, I really do miss him. Like I said, he was a cut up. I had videos and all of that of him just, and he had the funniest laugh too. It was just crazy times, you know. How do you hope people feel when they're around you? Oh, that's a good question. I would hope that they feel relaxed. I mean, I hope that they feel, you know, like they don't have to be on edge or kind of alarmed or anything like that. Typically when somebody's around me, they, you know, really share their life story with me. And that's been like a common theme throughout my life, of just people kind of bearing their souls when they're around me. So, and sometimes, at times, it can be like, girl, why are you telling me about you know, these intimate pieces of your life, and then other times you can tell like this person really needed that. So of course that comes with, you need to have boundaries. You need to make sure that, you know, that's their stuff that they're dealing with, that isn't mine. So to be able to kind of like disconnect from it, don't accept, don't kind of allow it to penetrate you. I think when you have that kind of essence about you, and other people out there probably know what I'm talking about, it's just, you can allow it to be overwhelming and draining. So you just got to learn how to kind of put up a shield around that. What life lessons did you have to learn the hard way? Man, so many life lessons. Definitely accepting it is what it is mindset, not trying to hold on or kind of force something to be something that it's not, to disengage, to fall back, to disconnect when needed. And I'm the type where the universe will allow me to go a certain point with somebody, and after, you know, the incident happened where I'm needing to, you know, cut it off, and if I continue to engage in it, man, I mean, every type of situation will like just continuously pop up to make me be like, oh nope, Chelsea, nope, you need to go ahead and cut it off. So because I know the universe does not play with me in that manner, like as soon as I see something that's like red flag, I have to go ahead and disengage from it. Now this isn't to say like when something happens like I completely like cut somebody off completely, but it's some boundaries that need to happen, and some communication that needs to take place to be like, look, we're not doing this anymore, we're not, you know, interacting with each other on that level anymore, and to move forward. And if they cool with it, cool. If they're not, then that's the point where it's like, okay, well, we're just not going to be nothing to each other, and, you know, let's throw the deuces up and call it a day. So definitely it is what it is. Another hard lesson is you can show up for a person who's not ready to receive you. And that isn't to say like there's anything wrong with you. That isn't to say there's anything wrong with the other person. It's just they're not at a place to receive what you're capable of offering and giving to them. And instead of getting mad, instead of trying to force something or to make them realize or for them to have this epiphany, you just have to make a decision on, this is something that I want to continue with, and accept kind of how they respond to those actions and to that love or whatever you're trying to give them to them. Or it's a matter of you need to have some boundaries again, or you need to completely disengage from that person. So definitely those two life lessons have been drilled into me by various situations. And it's like, finally, the universe said, finally, you have learned, like you have learned your lesson. It's only took you about so many years, but we're here now. Good job, Chelsea. So definitely just be mindful of the company that you keep. Be mindful of what you allow access to you, and who you allow access to you and your energy. It's vital in my opinion. So what's the best advice that you've ever received? That's another good question. I would probably say, when you're dealing with others, how does she have it? When you're dealing with others, lead with your mind. When you're dealing with yourself, lead with your heart. That has definitely been a key piece of just advice, of just the decisions on how I move with myself, and being able to live with my decisions, being confident in my decisions to do something, my decisions not to do something, my decision to wait, or whatever the case may be. And it's also saved me time and time again when I'm dealing with others, especially if you're a giver, especially if you're someone who finds enjoyment into making sure that everyone around you is good, regardless of what that looks like. It has been vital for me to be very logical as far as how I'm interacting with people, and not getting so caught up in the emotion of, you know, but but I love this person, but this is my so-and-so, or we have this type of family connection, or but it's no, this is what the situation is. These are your options. This is how you need to move forward. Very logical and just based, like firmly planted. And I am a Pisces, so shout out to the best water sign in the zodiac, period. But I am a Pisces, and to kind of have that balance of being up in the clouds, but also being very firmly planted, has been it's been a game changer for me. Like I just remember sitting down with myself and making that decision of how I'm going to move forward with myself and other people. And it's the difference between light and day. So if you're someone else who struggles with kind of forming those boundaries, having kind of we're going to call them works in progress, but kind of having some poor attachment and whatnot, but just kind of take that and kind of see how that works for you. Just leading with your heart for yourself and leading with your mind, dealing with other people. That's I don't even know how I came across that or who told me that, but I definitely appreciated that little tidbit there. Just a few more, maybe one more. Biggest regret in life. I try not to get caught up in regrets, because I believe that every decision that I've made has secured me here, and this is where I'm supposed to be. And it was all kind of a learning experience for me to take something from it, teachable moments, and to apply it to the next phase of my life. So I try not to get worked up in all of this, because looking back on it, there's several things that I feel like, man, I should have done differently and all of that. But I definitely regret not being as present with my grandmother during the last few months of her life, and deciding that I was going to put all my effort and energies into a toxic ass relationship that I had been involved in for a period of time. And you know, again, I do believe in when it's your time, you're going to go regardless. But I have really struggled with that guilt of choosing a dude, in a sense, over somebody who showed me nothing but unconditional love and regard. And I allowed myself to kind of get stuck into that just guilt and shame cycle. And I stayed with someone for years after that, after she passed, who treated me worse than their worst enemy. I'm talking about a month after she passed, he was interacting with other girls, and had another girl down here, you know, a month after me losing someone who was so critical, and also hanging on to friendships that didn't mean me any good, who at any given opportunity would throw shade and try to laugh behind it, or knew certain situations that I wasn't aware of, excuse me, that I wasn't aware of, that could have been, vital and just a pivotal moment for me to be like, okay, Chelsea, you are finally done with this situation. So definitely allowing people to still have access to me after they showed me that they didn't have no ounce of loyalty, no ounce of care, no ounce of regard, and secretly, in my opinion, found enjoyment in, you know what I'm saying, to get caught up into that. Really, like, I battled with that for several years, of looking at myself and why I would even allow myself to be around certain people or accept certain behaviors from people just because we had history and all of that. But also knowing, like, Chelsea, you wouldn't dare do this to another person. You wouldn't dare have somebody who you call your best friend in a situation looking crazy. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But, and it's no animosity, it's no ill will, no hard feelings or anything like that. People do the best that they can at where they're at. And it was definitely a life lesson and a learning experience that I needed. Like, I honestly, in all truth of the word. I needed that just wake up call, that epiphany to realize everybody doesn't have your back like you have theirs, and it requires requires action. It requires some tough decisions, especially when you really care about a person and y'all have been friends for 10 plus years, or y'all been together, or whatever the case may be. And this doesn't have to be just platonic or romantic. It can be family. It's just one of those things that I wish that hindsight is 2020, that I would have had enough sense back in my younger years to have that discernment, that I do now, and being able to spot something, but not only spot it, being able to make a decision and to accept what a person shows you the first time. So yeah. And it's shout out to anybody who, we had dealings with each other in the past, and I hope y'all are doing well. I hope that, family is good, finances are stable, y'all are thriving. Don't get me wrong, because one thing that I'm just not bitter, and I don't hold on to resentments. That does nothing for you but suck the life out of you. And appreciate the people that I've experienced in my life, and by no means am I perfect either, because we all fall short, but it's just life, So I thank y'all for listening to me rant and ramble and all of that. It's kind of a quick or not so quick look into Chelsea and what I got going on, and a little bit of my past and all of that. So if you have stayed this long, I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with me, and look out for my next video. It should be some unboxings and all of that, some hauls that I'm pretty excited about, and I will catch y'all in my next video. Bye.